Alright, we are back with another Divinity Original Sin 2 video. I'm going to try and make this one quick. Today we are talking about some useful crafting recipes in early game Divinity. Now this is no means a total inclusive list of every possible crafting thing you can make in the game at this point, but it's some of the more useful ones, some of the ones that I regularly make. Some of these are actually useful items that you craft, that you're going to use. Some of them are just ways to get money kind of early on in the game. I did set it up so I had 0 money at the start of this little demonstration, and then we're going to sell some stuff at the end just to show how much we can make from just crafting stuff. Now this one, I have no extra mods on that help me with money in any way. I did put it on a super easy difficulty here just to get through to this point really quick in a couple minutes. But we're going to go through right about now. So one of the first things that you're going to want to craft, especially if you are new, I did put on one mod to show all the recipes to save time. If you are new, you are going to probably want to make some resurrection scrolls at some point. So I'm going to go over here. Resurrection scrolls. So, resurrection scrolls, you need a sheet of paper, you need any water essence, and any life essence. Now, you are not going to have a lot of these at the beginning of the game, but you will get a couple. So, resurrection scroll, you can probably craft 2, maybe 3 while you're inside Fort Joy, but hey, if you're new to the game and you're dying a lot, 2 or 3 extra resurrection scrolls could mean a huge difference for you. So, that is how you make resurrection scrolls right there. This next part here is going to be particularly useful for anybody who has an archer in their group. Alright, so we're going to actually get rid of the search bar there, because that doesn't go away until you clear that out. So we are going to look at objects right here. And we're going to take a log, and then you need any blade. Doesn't matter if it's a dagger, a sword, an axe, any kind of blade in the game. You can cut that log up and make a long branch. Then you can go, why does this keep opening? That is kind of annoying. But then you can take that long branch, and you're going to go over here to, is it on arrows? Maybe it's still on objects. You know what? I believe we need to actually close out of that if I'm going to do it that way. We're going to take the long branch, and you know what? It's not on here. Let's just go do it the old-fashioned way. We're going to go over here, take that long branch, put it up there, grab a cutting tool right there. I'm going to use a dagger. And I'm going to cut that long branch into some short sticks. Alright. Now, these short sticks are going to be very useful for a lot of things early on. But one of the things you can do with them is you can take a short stick and then any skull. Now, you can't find a whole lot of these on the beaches, but there's a few. So you're going to take a skull and then a short stick. You can combine those together to get a wand. Now, it is going to be at your level every time you make this. So if you make it level 3, like I'm doing here, it'll be level 3. If you make it at level 20, it'll be level 20. Similar to that, now it will be a random magic attribute. You can't control whether or not you get a fire or a poison or whatever. But you can make a staff or a wand that is always at your level. Spoiler alert, the next one we're going to do is staves. So you're going to do a long branch, and this one's a little bit easier to make. You can't get as many long branches, because every one long branch you cut up, you get a handful of short sticks. But take one of those, and then you combine it with a shell. There's a bunch of different types of shells. I don't think it makes a difference in the crafting. You can combine it with a shell, and you get an improvised staff. Alright, and it's going to be a random attribute every time, so it's the same style of shell, and one gave us fire, one gave us water. So if you have a mage and you want to use a staff, that's a really quick way to get one at your level. Just very convenient to do right there. But if you're doing a magic user, you're probably going to use skills, not so much the weapons. But if you have a big old two-handed weapon user, big tongs roped together, just some tongs and some leather scraps, you can put those together, get these big tongs right there, and that is going to get you a two-handed weapon at your level. And also, like, who doesn't want just like a makeshift weapon on their back? In RPG, that's classic. You just take some stuff, tie it together, boom, you got yourself an RPG weapon. It's nice. Another one you can do is a knife on a stick. So this one, again, we're going to be using our short sticks that we cut up from the long branch, and then we're going to use any dagger. This one does have to be a dagger. It can't be any cutting tool. So you're basically just taking a stick, tying a dagger on the end of it. And you're also going to need some rope. Rope you can get from Nabora up in the front of Fort Joy. And this one's interesting because you could take a level 1 dagger from the starting boat, combine it with this, and it's still going to make you a one-handed sword, dagger on a stick. but it's going to make you a one-handed weapon that is at your level. So you can take like level 1 Shivs and then use them to make level 3 or 4 or 5 knife on a sticks, which is kind of cool, I think. I think that one's pretty useful. Alright, now we're going to go and make arrow shafts. Once again, we need any cutting tool. I guess this has a different thing for swords and two-handed swords, but it's all the same thing. Any cutting tool and then short stick. You're going to combine that into arrow shafts. Now, arrow shafts are great because you are going to need them to make your magical consumable arrows. So if you have an archer, this is why the long branch, or the log, the long branch, and the short sticks are great for archers, because every one of these you cut up, you get 4 arrow shafts. I forget if you get 2 of these for 2 of these, but anyway, you get 1 log and you can get like 32 arrow shafts, I think, out of it. And every arrow shaft can be used to make a magical arrowhead. Another weird one here that ties into that, for some reason, if you take any tooth, I got these from killing the crocodiles, if you take any teeth, whatever, and you just use a cutting tool, you can make shocking arrowheads. Not entirely sure how that one works. You get a shocking arrowhead out of teeth. Alright. But now if you take the arrow shaft, get that shocking arrowhead, you can now get shocking arrows. These ones are actually very good to use. This definitely falls under the items you want to make to use them category, not the items you want to make in order to sell them category. Similar to that is a water arrowhead. You can combine those with arrow shafts. I don't know where I got that. I didn't craft the water arrowhead. I just found it walking around Fort Joy. Don't remember where. But water and electrified arrowheads are great together, or arrows, because you can make the target wet, which is then going to cause them to take more damage from the electric one, and if they're already wet, when they get electrified, they're going to be stunned. It's great. Going on with the stunning and electrical usage, we're going to do a step-by-step here how to make a teleportation scroll. So I got this pillow off the starting boat. Once again, we're going to take any cutting tool, which they don't get consumed, by the way, on a lot of these, if you just need any cutting tool. We're just going to cut open that pillow, and inside the pillow we are going to get a feather. Alright, some old school 1920s feather pillows. Now once again, this one I'm not really sure how the crafting makes sense, but if you take a feather, an air essence, and a sheet of paper, you combine those together, and you get a teleportation scroll. Now, the teleport gloves are a very useful item in the game. People love using those early game. Gets you all sorts of goodies for free. But if you can just start making scrolls, it's fantastic. Easy teleport. Don't need to wait for it to recharge. You don't need to put the gloves on the specific person you want to use it on. You just make a scroll and use them a bunch of times. It's amazing. I mean, each scroll you can make one use, but you can make a bunch of scrolls. Keeping in line with the scroll concept here, I'm going to go over to some that I don't have memorized. We're just going to go over here. Fortified. Okay, I thought it was Whisperwood. Fortify scroll is fantastic because it's going to prevent you from burning, it's going to prevent you from bleeding, handful of other little things, but mostly it just gives you armor, which is phenomenal. So you just need a sheet of paper. You need any earth essence. You're going to be getting normal-sized tiny ones at this stage of the game. And you're going to be getting some Whisperwood. I only found 2 Whisperwood on this run of the game. I know you can buy them from the doctor on the little beach. Actually, the beach right by where I'm standing. Next to this crying daughter over here that is kind of getting on my nerves. But Fortify Scroll is great. You always want to have a couple of those on hand. It just makes life a lot easier. And right in line with those, you are going to want an Armor of Frost Scroll. Is that not popping up? Can I not craft those ones? Am I making a big old mistake right here? No, it's right there. Now, I do not have any bluegill mushrooms. I believe if I go down here, I can find some. But the bluegill mushrooms are probably the hardest part to find in early game. But Armor Frost Scroll, very similar to the Fortify Scroll. It's just going to give you armor that you need. It's going to get rid of any shocked or frozen status, which at this stage in the game, you're probably mostly going to get shocked by accidentally hitting, some friendly fire over there. But if you do accidentally shock yourself, it's great to be able to just get rid of it real quick. Alright, moving on from there, we're going to go into our last little bit here. We talked about some scrolls, we talked about arrowheads, we talked about making some wands, making some staves, teleport scrolls, all that stuff. Last thing we're going to talk about is shields, because shields are a little bit interesting here. Now, I believe I am missing... Oh, I actually have that still up, is why I'm missing stuff there. Armor, handmade shield is what we're looking for. Now, shields are interesting because I'm at a perfect level for them. If you make a shield at level 3, yes, it's going to be weaker than a level 4 shield, obviously. But if you look at that level 3 shield, it requires Constitution 10. Alright, now early game, if you have shields on your characters, it's fine. You need a little bit more survivability, you don't have a lot of armor. Once you get, I was going to say Act 2, but honestly, once you get outside of Fort Joy, and you get into the swamp area, you really don't want shields on melee characters. You really only want to throw them on your mages. So you want them on your mages that have a shield in one hand and a wand in the other. Because if you have one-handed sword, it's just going to deal a lot less damage than a two-handed sword, and typically the protection the shield gives you isn't worth it. However, you also don't want to bother pumping points into Constitution just for the sake of somebody being able to use a shield. So if you make a level 3 shield, you don't need to add any points in their Constitution. They can just use it at base, because everybody starts with 10 Constitution. But if you make a level 4 shield, you're going to have to start putting points into their Constitution in order for them to be able to use it. So if you want to not have to invest points into Constitution for people to use shields, craft them at level 3. Alright, we just saw the ingredients for that. In case you guys missed it, we'll pull that back up. It is metal scraps and wood chips. Metal scraps you can get a handful from Nabora. I think I stole 2 of them from her tent. And the wood chips you actually get as a byproduct of going over here and making the long branch. So we're going to pull up my miscellaneous inventory here. So we have 3 wood chips. If I go back over here, if I just take that log and I put that up there and I just cut that up a couple of times, get a few long branches, and then I come over here. I'm just going to actually go over to objects. Now, is the short stick over here? It is over here. I'm just going to make 9 more short sticks right there. So we had 3 wood pulp before, or wood chips. Now we have 15 from cutting all those up. So those are just kind of an extra side effect, or side product that you get. And you can use those with metal scraps to come down and make your shields. Which again, you kind of want to make them just for your wand users. You can put them on one-handed sword people early game, but I'd say once you get out of Fort Joy, shields should be exclusively for wand users. Alright, so now we're just going to go through, and we're just going to combine a bunch of those stuff, and then a bunch of those stuff. That's not grammatically correct. A bunch of those items, and we're going to... Oh, you can also do a sharp stone on a stick. If you have a rock and short stick, you can make a one-handed hammer as well. I'm just going to craft as much stuff here as I can. You can also use a short stick and a bowstring to make a quick little bow there. Potions, I mean, healing elixir, you're not going to use a whole lot. Potions, it's themselves, most people know how to do that. But if you want to combine potions, you can combine 2 potions of the same size to get a bigger potion. It's always going to be more effective in combat to drink a bigger potion, as long as the smaller potion isn't enough to heal you up to full. Can't not talk today. Potion of Strong Will, you might want to take note of, actually. Maybe not for early game in Fort Joy, but once you get out of Fort Joy, any fire essence in a bottle, you'll get a Potion of Strong Will. That protects you from, like, mental statuses, like silenced, charmed, I believe blinded, stuff like that. Arrows, we can... I'm not going to sell any of those. You can combine essences with arrowheads to make elemental arrowheads. I can make more of those. And I'm not going to go through the rest of those because we didn't talk about those. One last thing here before we go sell and get our money. You can also combine skill books. Most people know about this, but some people don't. You can combine any magic damage skill book, so that's Arrow, Pyro, Geo, and Hydro, with any other type of skill book. And it'll be like any Pyro and any Necro will make you the same thing. Any Pyro and any Warfare will make you the same thing. So you don't need specific books, just specific types of books. So if we take a Pyro skill book and a Necro skill book and combine them, we get this Corpse Explosion skill book, which is pretty nifty. You can mix and match, find out all of them yourself. But those are some pretty strong skills you can get from that. You can get them right away upon coming off the boat. And this one does pretty nice damage. Now again, I put it on an easy difficulty just to rush this video. But she's got 25 armor, 51 health, and that's going to kill her in one hit. Now again, easiest difficulty, so that's really not saying much, but the fact that you can still one-shot somebody with those skills, like, they're not anything to forget about, you know? Craft some skill books. They're pretty good. Alright, we're going to come over here to Nabora. Now again, we had 0 gold when we started this. I have no points in persuasion and bartering, so the attitude is just base. I am Red Prince, so as a lizard I get a little bit more. She's currently got 9 attitude for me, so we're getting a whopping 2% discount. So let's go and sell the stuff that we just crafted and see how much money we can make from that. Now, let's be fair, I didn't craft that, and I didn't craft any of the little shivs there. And some of the stuff you might use, I didn't craft that either. I don't have an archer, because I just have 1 character, so we're going to put those in there. I did craft that. No, that's a usable thing. I'm not going to add that into the money-making aspect of all of this. Alright, so we can make $330, which is not, like, game-breaking amount, but that's enough to buy, you know, magic ring, a couple of arrowheads if you want, and if you just, you know, have some points in bartering, you could buy even more. But you can sell some stuff, make some quick money at the start of the game just to get yourself some good equipment. Or you can just keep crafting stuff and save up until you get out of Fort Joy and can buy some actually really solid equipment. But in Fort Joy, that's about the extent of the crafting you'll be doing. I might be making a couple more crafting videos for like upper level crafting stuff. There's not a whole lot to them, but there's a few useful things you can make throughout the game. So I'm going to end it there, and I will see you guys in the next one.